Welcome back to my studio. I'm Kara of Lady Fox Stitches and I'm a long arm quilter located in Northern Nevada. I've got a few finished projects and customer quilts to share with you today. I'm super excited, so let's get started. Before I show you the quilt candy I have today, I thought I would just take a second and talk about the long arm machine that I am currently using. I have a Bernina Q24 on the 13-foot Pro frame. I've had it for 1 full year and I love it so much. It's been a wonderful machine. I've had a really good time learning how to use it. I can't wait to spend many more years with this wonderful machine. My first long arm was an 18-inch Eclipse Varsity, and it was on a 10-foot frame, and I was completely freehand. So I learned to long arm doing edge-to-edge, free motion, hand-guided quilting. I pretty quickly outgrew the 10-foot frame and upgraded to a 12-foot frame at that point. And then I decided I really wanted to upgrade and go with a computerized system. So that's when I went out and got my Bernina with the Qmatic software, which has been a wonderful addition to my quilting practice. I love using the computer and using the Qmatic software. I think I'm going to make a video explaining the different tools and the setup I use with my Bernina. I have customized a few things to kind of fit the way I quilt, and I just thought I'd maybe share some of those things with you. If that's something you think you'd be interested in, go ahead and leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. All right, enough about my machine. Let's jump into customer quilt finishes. The first customer quilt I have is from Sharon. She did this really darling pink and yellow quilt. This quilt is called Library Nook, and it is a pattern by Modern Charm Stitchery. They did this as a quilt along online. The original pattern called for some English paper pieced hexagon flowers, and Sharon did not want to do those hexagon flowers and instead decided to swap out those blocks for these simple little pieced heart blocks that she dispersed throughout the quilt. She made her quilt using tons of scrappy fabrics, like just lots of different fabrics from all different lines in kind of these pinks and yellow colorways. So super scrappy, and I love it because it has this like warm, glowy feel when you look at it between the yellows and the pinks. It's just very warm and it reminds me of like a sunset or something. So it's really, really beautiful. The pantograph I used is called 6-Petal Flower, and it's a doodly daisy in different sizes that just moves across the quilt. You can really see it on the back because this backing is a minky. It's a baby pink minky, super soft. You can really see that daisy design because the minky just really shows off that texture. It gets a little more lost on the front. Let me try to bring it in a little bit so you can see. There it is. It's kind of daisy doodle, super cute. I used a glide thread in the color cream. My usual kind of off-white thread color is called linen, but it's a little bit grayer than the cream is. The cream has a yellow undertone, and with the warmth of this quilt, I thought the cream was a better match, and it does. It matches perfectly. And of course, on the back with the minky, you can't see the thread color at all. It just sinks into that minky. You see the texture, but not the thread color. The batting is Quilter's Dream 80/20, which it has such a nice weight and coziness to this quilt. The finished size is 49 by 61, so it's not a super big quilt. There's like little fuzzes everywhere from the Minky. It's not a super big quilt, but it is going to be perfect for cuddling under while you watch TV or something fun like that. So this is a beautiful, beautiful quilt. Well done, Sharon. Great pattern. I'll make sure to link to Modern Charm Stitchery in the description box. Gorgeous. The second customer quilt I have to share with you today is from Teresa, and it is a beautiful blue and white quilt. I will hold it up here for you. This is made using a light, medium, and dark fabric. And the way the block is arranged, it looks like these cubes kind of sitting on their sides, and you can see through them. I've seen this type of pattern done before with a little bit thinner blocks, and which makes it look like a window, you know, like panes in a window. But to me, this particular one looks more like cubes sitting on their side. It's a great illusion. It's very beautiful. And Teresa is a bit of a new quilter, and so she is working on getting her 1/4 inch seams accurate and getting her points to line up and things like that. I just want to take a second and cheer on those who are beginning their quilting journey, as there is quite a learning curve for everyone with you learning how to use a machine, how to control our fabrics, learning how patterns are written, how to cut accurately. There is a lot to learn, and I'm just so proud of anyone who is willing to try and to grow in this great and marvelous craft that makes us all so happy. None of our quilt tops are perfect, right? We all have points that either get cut off or don't quite make it all the way. When a quilt gets quilted, I'm always amazed at how any imperfections in our quilting actually become obsolete. Once we've added that quilted layer, it really does something to bring it all together, and any imperfections, any points that don't line up, they just fall into the background and we don't notice them anymore. We just see this overall beautiful piece of art, and it is absolutely wonderful, and I'm just so excited for Teresa to get this one back. She picked the pantograph burners. It's a very geometric pattern, which I think matches perfectly with the style of this quilt. It has a lot of lines, and then it also has the curves and the circles, which is a great little softening element. You can really see it on this background, which is a solid light blue. It's like a whole cloth quilt right here on the backing. Very, very beautiful. The thread color is Glide in Steel Blue, and I bound it up for her. I stitched the binding to the front of the quilt and then wrapped it to the back and stitched it down. And I'll just show you that. I'm going to pull it in these corners here. Let's see. There we go. So you can see that nice binding on the front, and then here's the point on the back and then the front. Very nice. And the binding was made using the leftover backing fabric on this. Because of the busyness of the print on the border, I decided that this light blue fabric would frame it out really well without conflicting or causing any kind of disharmony with this border fabric. So this turned out really lovely. I think Teresa's going to really be happy with it. She did a fabulous job, and I'm excited to see what else she makes. Teresa sent in a second quilt, and this one is quite different from the blue and white one we just looked at. This one is made using all floral prints that have been cut into squares, and then each square has a border of more floral fabrics. So it's quite busy. There's a lot going on with the different prints. This simple pattern really lends itself to using these busy prints that are all of a similar value and with kind of a low contrast feel. It's a simple idea, but it really, really works. Super great job. She bordered it with a white on white, very bright white fabric, and then the backing is this really springy yellow, blue, and green plaid, which of course, when you compare it to those prints here that you can see, is a great blend between that backing and the front. So super, super great job. The pantograph I chose is called Porcelain Posy. You can see it right here on, I think right here on these, on this white. Because of the busyness of the prints, it really blends in, right? The quilting just gets lost on the fabrics. But it's this simple flower, kind of the front of a flower that's just got a circle in the middle, and then it has 4 petals going across, and it's just stitched in rows all the way across the quilt. And then of course it's those rows are nested together, so they fit in together really well. I used glide thread in white, and that blends in, and of course with the brightness of this quilt top, I think it works really well. I added a bright yellow binding to this quilt, which I think really helps the yellows in this quilt pop. Like I said, there's not a lot of contrast in these prints, but when I added that yellow border against the stark white, it really did draw my eye to the yellows in the quilt. So you'll see just how many yellows are in there, especially when you put it with this binding. So it turned out really, really cute. Let me bring in the binding here and show you how cute. So this is the front of the quilt. I stitched it down first to the front and then flipped it to the back and stitched that down. Turned out really, really cute. Love that bright yellow binding. So with the binding added, this quilt is ready to go. It is completely finished. I'm excited for Teresa to get this one back. All right, some updates on my personal quilting projects. I did get my indelible quilt quilted. I was able to find some backing. I used a couple pieces from Tim Holtz's Eclectic Elements line that is out, one in pink and one in the green, and I was able to piece that and then get it quilted, but I haven't got it bound yet. So I think I'm going to save it and show it to you once it's actually bound and all the way finished. So we're going to save that for just a little bit longer. I was able to pick up some more backing fabrics for my Denise Schmidt fabric quilt called, I'm calling it Sunny Days. I am going with a black and white themed. I've got 3 different fabrics that I've pieced together. I'm excited about that. I have not had a chance to get that one quilted yet, but when I do, I'll be sure to share that finished one as well. I did work just a little bit on my gleaming quilt. That's the one that came in the Liberty box from the Fat Quarter Shop a couple weeks ago. I didn't get too far on this. It is cut out and some of it is pieced, but not all of it. So I am working on that, and I'm determined to get that one finished before the 4th of July. I was able to work on my Summer Sparkle Quilted Pillows. Last week I showed you the pattern. This is by Melissa Mortensen of the Polka Dot Chair. Super cute pillows. I pulled fabrics from my stash, just some different red, white, and blues that I had, and I was able to get them finished and all ready to go to sit on my couch. So this one is the 14 by 20. It has the star block and then of course the stripes. It's super cute. I chose this kind of spotted blue and white, light blue, dark blue, and white speckled print for the back, for that envelope part. The binding on this one, I dug through my scrap bindings and I found this red and white diagonal, and this is from, you know, quite a while ago. I had just enough plus about 3 extra inches, and so I was really happy to be able to use up the binding that I had already made and was just a little bit of leftover. So super cute. I think my pillow form is quite full, like it's a very tight fill. It's okay. I wish it was not quite as full, or maybe if I'd have made it this, you know, maybe given it an extra 1/4 inch or something all the way around. I don't know how that would work, but it is quite stuffed, but it will do the trick. It's very cozy, it's very soft, and it turned out really great. I quilted this one on my Juki with just some straight lines, and I stitched every 1/2 inch except there's one right here somewhere, right in here, that is actually 5/8 inch. I don't know what happened when I was marking my lines and stitching my lines. I did not notice until it was all the way done, and of course I didn't want to unpick all those stitches that were off by a 1/8 inch or so. I don't think you can really tell when you look at it overall. It's fine. No one's ever going to know, right? Except you guys, because I just told you. But turned out super cute. Love it. I'm excited to get that on the couch. And then I did finish the big one as well. This pillow is the 24 by 24, and it has these, you know, light blue with the dark star points, dark blue with the light star points. It just alternates, and then it has these cute little red stars in the middle there and on the corners. The backing on this one was a leftover I had from a backing of a quilt I made someone, and it kind of has a fake denim speckle to it, but it's just quilting cotton. The binding on this one is this candy cane stripe, and this binding was also in my scrap bindings, which has been around for years and years. I had just enough for this project with just about 1 foot left over, so I was happy again to use up that extra scrap binding, and I think it works great. It pulls the red from these little stars. It pops them right out. So that's a really nice big pillow. I like the fit of this one a little bit better than that littler one. It's not quite as plump and full, but it still fills it up very nicely. Nice big pillow to sit on my couch for the summer season. I had a Missouri Star block magazine show up in the mail the other day. I have not had a chance to flip through this or look too closely. On the back cover, when I look at the quilts that are included in this magazine, along with their patterns, I was noticing that there are several, at least 3 out of, let's see, it looks like there's like 12 maybe different patterns, but at least 3 of them are quilts I would actually make and would want to make. I'm kind of excited to flip through this and see if there's something that strikes my fancy, and so I can make that. If you're interested in subscribing to the block magazine, you can go to Missouri Star Quilt Company's website and you can subscribe there. The nice thing about this magazine is that it doesn't have any ads. It's just all quilting goodness. So really great photographs and patterns are always included. So I'm excited about this new block magazine that just came. So that's fun. I do have a fat quarter bundle of this fabric line right here. This is called Mave, and it is by Crystal Manning for Moda Fabrics. And it's this line of like pinks and oranges and purples, these kind of this dark, look at that, this beautiful dark floral with all these bright pops of color, some little fuchsia or magenta. It's really lovely, and I think I counted about 28 fat quarters in this bundle. I got this when it was on sale a while back, and I have been looking for a pattern, a quilt pattern to use with this bundle, and I'm wondering if one of these quilts in the block magazine will be one that I think will work with this. So I'm excited to kind of do that. I also have 2 bits of yardage from the same line that I picked up somewhere along the way. I think from my local quilt shop right here in town. This one is the kind of big bouquet floral on the cream background. Isn't that so pretty? Colors are so bright and happy. And then the other print I don't have quite as much of this one, but it's a larger floral print on that cream background. So really cute. So I definitely have some fabrics to work with in making a new quilt. So I'm excited about that. Thanks so much for watching my video today. If you're new here, please consider subscribing to my channel. If you have any questions or things you'd like to tell me, please go ahead and leave a comment below for me. I'd love to connect with you there in the comments. Make sure to check out my website at ladyfoxstitches.com. That's where you'll find any information about how to get your quilts quilted by me. I offer edge-to-edge digital quilting and machine binding services. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook at Lady Fox Stitches, so make sure to follow me over on those platforms as well. Make sure you keep making, quilting, and sewing stuff, and I'll see you next time.